Will Smith today is someone who should be pitied, not prosecuted in a courtroom or even persecuted in the public eye, but pitied by every person who has the clarity to see how our society, as sponsored by the perversion of these Hollywood types, is falling apart.
All right, guys, so listen, I did a video yesterday, which was essentially a compilation of a bunch of different Hollywood stars going in on the slap heard around the world. And there was a particular clip in there specific to Candace Owens, which you guys seem to really value the things that she was saying. What I wanted to do here today is to provide more color into the things that she was saying. So I compiled a bunch of videos which do just that. So let's get active. Without further ado. Now, one of the key arguments by Candace Owens is that while people are talking about assault charges or taking away his Grammy, what we should actually just be doing is pitying Will Smith. Why is that? Because Will has been going through decades of emasculinization from his wife Jada, and she's done it in an extremely sinister way. One of the ways that she did it was constantly compare him to her real first choice, which was Tupac. Now, y'all remember this note right here? This note was written by Willow. Let's read. Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do love Willow. Let me ask you something. What type of demon witch infuses the ideas of her former relationship into her mind to not only emasculate the father, but then to demonstrate that her father was never good enough for her to begin with? Willow wasn't even alive when Tupac was alive. So how does she even know about Tupac unless Jada explicitly told her?
Of the love Jada had for Tupac.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh my God, that dude. And you know, that was in the early days. I was the soft rapper from Philly, and he was Pac.
Right.
Deeply insecure, and just I wasn't man enough to handle that.
Now, here's what's odd about the clip. When Chris Rock first makes the joke, Will laughs, meaning that he takes the joke as it was intended, lightly. But then he looks over and he sees that his wife does not find the joke funny, and he immediately goes from an amused attendee to a thug life husband, defending the honor of his wife's hair.
Now, Candace's word choice there is actually brilliant, because what does she say? Thug life. What was tattooed on the stomach of Tupac? Thug life. Will getting up on that stage and slapping Chris in his mind is what Tupac thug life would have done if someone was to disrespect his woman. Pay attention, because I hope that you're listening.
Husband defending the honor of his wife's hair. So he hops on stage and rather dramatically slaps Chris across the face. Then he returns to his seat and he screams, "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth," much to the horror of attendees who were all at once realizing that no, this isn't a joke. He's not kidding around. The internet was understandably outraged by the act of violence, and making things more awkward, Will Smith subsequently won his first Oscar for his performance in the film King Richard. Now, in the aftermath, there have been calls to have the Oscar award rescinded, regarding which the Academy has not yet made an official decision. There have also, of course, been countless internet jokes and memes made at his and Chris Rock's expense. But through all of these jokes and the rampant commentary that's being offered, there is a conversation that is being neglected, a truer assessment of what we observed on that Oscars stage. For the first time, we saw the real Will Smith. Not a Fresh Prince, not a survivor of a zombie apocalypse in I Am Legend, not a crime-fighting cop in the movie Bad Boys or the Hancock superhero, but the real Will Smith. an incredibly broken man, and the residual product of a directionless society that is filled with them. The kind of society that produces men that look to their more domineering wives with their tails planted firmly between their legs for instruction on what and who they ought to be in every room. The truth is that off the big screen, Will Smith has been spiritually annihilated by his wife.
Our marriage was the most difficult, grueling, and excruciating thing that we've ever taken
Look at his face.
in our lives.
She's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego.
That was the only time in my life that I ever considered suicide.
Don't forget, it was Jada Pinkett Smith who openly shared with the world how she cheated on her husband, remember? And with who? Her son's friend. Yeah, Jada carried out an extramarital affair with a young man who was at first friends with her son.
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
You know what that's like to have not only just publicly displayed like this, right? But just to have someone that you said, I want to spend the rest of your life with, tear you down like that. Right, like just put yourself in his position and put yourself in a space where you never feel that you can amount up to what the person that you love wants. Just think about that for a second and ask yourself, if you endured that for 25 years and never got therapy for it, never got out of that situation. It's almost like you're your own best masochist. You cause yourself so much pain in an effect to try to please this person.
My sort of addictions jump. They jump around. When I was young, I definitely think I had a sex addiction of some kind.
She was a semen demon. Pay attention.
Yes, that everything could be fixed by sex.
Yes.
The takeaway from this interview was that they together represented some newer, more progressive form of what it means to be in a marriage, which is to say, not being in a real marriage at all. Will Smith today is someone who should be pitied, not prosecuted in a courtroom or even persecuted in the public eye, but pitied by every person who has the clarity to see how our society, as sponsored by the perversion of these Hollywood types, is falling apart.
I mean, the thing that Will and I talk about a lot is the journey. I mean, we started in this at a very young age, 22 years old. I think you expect your partner to know, especially when it comes to sex.
Right.
It's like, well, if you love me, you should know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you love me,
You should be able to read
you
my
should
mind.
read my mind.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I
that's
mean?
a huge
That's a
pitfall.
huge pitfall.
Yeah, it is.
Will Smith is what Jordan Peterson cautions against. He's nothing more than a casualty in the great war against masculinity. G.I. Jane, by the way, for those of you who haven't seen the 1997 movie, tells the story of a woman being integrated into the all-male space of the United States military. It is the inspired tale of the loss of one woman's femininity to meet the grueling physical demands of the more masculine environment that she finds herself in. And so, though perhaps not the punchline that Chris Rock had intended, I have to agree that yes, Jada Pinkett would be the perfect individual to play that role in the remake. And not because of her hair, obviously, but because of her success in stripping her husband of any trace understanding of what it means to be a real man. And let me tell you, Will, it isn't slapping a man across the face because your wife tells you to. I'm sorry to say that real manhood is not won on a stage at the Oscars with a meaningless trophy. Rather, real manhood begins and ends in your own household. It starts with the first step of being able to accurately identify what a good man, what a good woman, and what a good, meaningful relationship even is. And with that, we wish you luck, Will, on your real-life pursuit of happiness.
What Will Smith is actually going through is really not all that rare. Slapping someone at the Oscars in front of a worldwide audience is rare. But the actual idea of being locked into a situation, one of which you are piece by piece emasculated, piece by piece devalued, piece by piece have your joy and your happiness stripped from you in the never-ending cycle of the need to be right. This is the result of the feminization of men. This is the result of Disney and these fairy tales of doing anything that you can in order to please a woman and not needing to be the leader, a strong leader of your household, an appreciated leader of your household. What makes me the most upset about situations like this is that I really truly believe that this is not Will's character before being destroyed like this. Although he's a fantastic actor, I really believe that who he is as a person is a good person. But I don't care how good of a person that you are, once pushed completely to the edge, then you're capable of anything. The quote repeated by Candace Owens from Jordan Peterson is absolutely profound. What we're seeing is the result on the attack of masculinity. But make no qualms about it, I still think Will should accept full accountability for what he did. But I think that it's key to highlight where it may have came from. But this is where we're at right now. There was a major attack on masculinity. And it seems as though the media is completely ill-prepared or just doesn't want to be able to deal with it. But guess what? We over here, we'll pick up the slack. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Last but not least, guys, my Patreon is fantastic. Click the link down below, beam up and see all of the fantastic things in store. If you want to get closer to your boy, if you want to get closer to a community of dope, awesome people grinding and building on themselves with specialized events throughout the month, then y'all already know where to find me. Until next time, YouTube.